Today I'd like to talk to you about using pasta made from whole grain. Sure, you can buy in the supermarket pasta, spaghetti, and they say it's made out of whole grain. That may be fine, but all processing of grains and legumes or any food takes away a lot of the nutritional value of it. So we're going to mill some wheat and we'll make the pasta out of wheat flour. By using the whole grain, of course, it means that you're getting all the nutrition, plus you're getting the insoluble fibre and soluble fibre. But the insoluble fibre is so vital to our elimination system. If you have plenty of insoluble fibre in your diet, you'll not ever have to worry about getting cancer of the colon or cancer of the bowel. So we'll switch the mill on. There's our whole wheat flour, all the life force, the vita, and all the nutrition. So, I usually use a spoon like that for one person. So, it depends on how many people you're going to feed. If you've got 4 people, I put 4 of those in. And then all that we need to do then is to add some salt, some olive oil, and mix it up with a little bit of water and then knead it. But before I do that, I just want to point out that you can actually use other flours other than the wheat flour to make your pasta, such as brown rice milled into flour, chickpea milled into flour, rye grain milled into flour, soya beans milled into flour, barley milled into flour, millet, marvellous for the ladies because it is the highest source of iron that you can get from any grain, and of course buckwheat. So you can make pasta out of any of those or a combination of them. Making pasta, for instance spaghetti, is so simple. You would wonder why people would ever spend 20 minutes in trying to soften the pasta or the spaghetti they buy from the supermarkets when you can make it. It takes 2 minutes to cook. We'll put some pinch of Celtic salt and also some olive oil in there. Couple of spoonfuls of olive oil, and then we'll mix up, add some water, you need to make your mixture wet enough so that you are mixing all of the ingredients in, salt and the oil, into a ball. It'll take a little while for the moisture to be absorbed into the flour, and so what I do, once I've got into a ball like that, I'll add a little bit more flour, so you finish up with a nice, easy to manage ball of dough. And then this is the hardest part of making your pasta or spaghetti, whatever you're going to use, whether you're making lasagna or whatever you're using the pasta for, is simply working it. It's very, very important to work it so that the gluten will be activated, and that gives you your elasticity and holds it all together. Now when you're making pasta out of other flours, the combination of flours, you need to sometimes hold it together. For instance, if you're making rice, say you were making rice and chickpea pasta, then perhaps you'd need to use an egg to bind it, whereas because they don't have any gluten. So that's just a thing to remember. It's just simply a matter of working your flour so that you finish up with a fairly dry mixture. Okay, and after you have been able to work your flour, your dough we'll call it, then I usually roll it and just flour it so that you are getting the elasticity enhanced in it. You see how it becomes like the pasta that the Italians make, and they throw it up in the air when they're making pizzas and things like that. It's just the fact that they've been able to work the gluten. And of course they use white flour mostly because that is just about all gluten, so they can, whereas this has only got a small amount of gluten in it because all of the nutrients haven't been removed during the milling process, because we've milled it ourselves, and that's important. So you can see the value of working your gluten is so that it makes it pliable. Now I'm going to we have electric pasta makers, and we also have the Italian hand making pasta maker, but I prefer to use a very simple gadget like this multi-disc cutter here, wherein I can make my spaghetti without having a lot of cleanup to do after, because I don't like cleaning up. So there we go. That's as simple as it is. A little multi-disc cutter, costs about $6, and there's your. Now you won't get to taste it, but I can tell you the taste of homemade pasta like this is just, I haven't pushed that right through because I'm protecting the bench there, not that the blades are that sharp, but it means you just have to pull them apart after. If I pressed harder, that would all be cut right through, but I'd need a board, and I just prefer to do it this way. And there's our pasta. Now we need to have your water on the stove and have it boiling, because this only takes 2 minutes to cook. When you first put it in, it will absorb the heat and stop boiling, and a minute later it will start boiling. So there's our spaghetti, and we'll leave these over here because we can show you some other things you can do with that. So we're all now ready to put our pasta into the saucepan. I'm going to take our spaghetti now and simply put it into the boiling water, and the water will actually stop boiling, and you'll find that now that it's started boiling again, so it's been about a minute and it's absorbed the heat out of the water, and we've got about a minute to go for it to cook, and then we'll strain it and it'll be ready to serve. Of course we like to make our own pasta sauce, and in the book, the Whisper Mill Club booklet, you'll be able to know how to make that. But we use tomatoes, preferably fresh out of your own garden, some red pepper, some onion and some garlic, and so you can have your sauce prepared. You can have, if you're having salad with your spaghetti, have that prepared, then 2 minutes on the stove, and then we're ready to serve the dinner. You can in fact create a pasta dinner. If you have your sauce already made, you can do it seriously within 15 minutes. You can be sitting down eating. So we're going to take that off the boil and we'll pour it into the strainer. There's our pasta or spaghetti ready to serve. So serve it onto the plate so people can serve themselves. But that's how simple it is. And that pasta is really delightful. Full of nutrition, full of flavour, and really very, very economical. I mean, I'd hate to tell you how much the cost of your spaghetti is this way. You're talking about a matter of cents.